Oh, I lost my place. No, I didn't. There we go. Okay, we're good. Hey, everybody. I decided I'd read from the good book outside today because it's so nice. And I wanted to show you guys my grapes because today, this reading, for the 5th Sunday of Easter, Jesus is talking about vines, grapevines, and bearing good fruit, like making something beautiful of our lives. And so last week you got to see my sheep. This week you get to see my mostly dead-looking grapes. This is all my grape wall. I'm not real good at this, but it's also spring, and they're coming. They'll be back. Let me share this reading with you guys, and then I'll talk a little bit about grapes and what Jesus is talking about. So he's talking to his disciples. All right, here we go. This is a reading from the Gospel according to John. Jesus said, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He removes every branch in me that bears no fruit. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes to make it bear more fruit. You, my disciples, have already been pruned, cleansed by the word that I've spoken to you. Live in me as I live in you. Just as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it lives in the vine, neither can you unless you live in me. I am the vine, and you are the branches. Those who live in me and I in them bear much fruit, because apart from me you can do nothing. Whoever does not abide in me, does not live in me, is thrown away like a branch and withers, and such branches are gathered, thrown into the fire and burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask for whatever you wish and it will be done for you. My Father is glorified by this, that you bear much fruit and you become my disciples." The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. These are all like the metaphors of lambs. You hear Jesus talking about grains of wheat. You hear him talking about grapevines now. These are all things that his disciples would have understood very closely because they lived close to these things. These were all parts of everyday life. And what Jesus is trying to say to us is we need to stay connected to the source of our life. And the source of our life is God himself. Jesus says, I'm connected to God, and everything I do has been pruned back to just what's needed to produce good fruit. So these vines here, like they kind of look dead, but they're connected to the main vine where it's getting all its nutrients from. It's waking up right now. It's pulling up moisture, pulling up nutrients. These vines are going to swell with moisture and they're going to bud again. Okay, and I'm going to keep them trained to just 3 or 4 good vines. Last year I let all these get away and this whole wall was green. It was beautiful, it looked good, but there was very little fruit. And it took a long time for it to ripen. And we didn't get much for grapes. I'm not very good at this. You see, I have to prune back all the stuff that's just extra. All the stuff that just looks good. Everything that isn't producing fruit needs to be clipped, pulled back, so that only the essentials are left. And then the good fruit starts to come. And Jesus is telling us that we're like that if we're connected to him. All the best fruit is going to come in your life when you're connected to your source, which is Jesus, God, our Father, our Creator. He's going to strengthen us. He's going to sustain us. And when we just run rampant and we're disconnected from him, these vines just grow leaves and very little fruit. And just, it looks pretty, but it's not a life of impact. That fruit is where the life is. That's what we're after. Everybody wants a good bundle of grapes. Nobody wants to chew on a grape leaf. And so God's just telling us, like, prune those things out of your life that disconnect you from me. If you're disconnected from me, get back connected to me and pull up all of that life that I'm trying to offer to you. But prune out that stuff that's killing the fruit, that's not allowing good fruit to grow. Like, prune out those toxic relationships. Prune out those friends that are pulling you away from your best self. Prune out those addictions that are keeping you distracted or pinned down or just in despair. And get connected back to your source. Okay? That's the main vine. And Jesus is telling his disciples, that's me. When you're connected to me, your life is going to produce incredible fruit. And I don't know about you guys, but that's what I want. I just want to leave an impact. I want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to have some dent on this rock that we call Earth. And I know now that God is wanting to do that. And the best way to do it is to stay connected to him. How do you do that? Just tune in every week. You can start there, Start asking questions. Start getting curious about God. Start getting curious about Jesus, the Bible, your local church. Ask a friend, ask a teacher, ask me. Drop me a message. Send me a comment. Okay? Get connected. Produce some fruit. Good fruit. I know it's in you. God knows it's in you too. He loves you very much. So do I. I love doing these with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon.